Welcome to SUSD Spotlight, your go-to source for all things happening within the district. Whether it's celebrating student and staff achievements, delving into trending education topics, or highlighting inspiring human interest stories, we've got you covered. Join us as we illuminate the incredible endeavors taking place in our schools and forge connections within our community. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and engaged as we embark on this journey together, spotlighting the extraordinary in SUSD. Welcome to another edition of SUSD Spotlight. Today we're excited to welcome into our studio Dr. Eric Leshinskie, the president of Scottsdale Community College. Welcome, Eric.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to see you, Scott.
So you're a recent appointee to the Scottsdale Community College presidency, but I'm very interested in your trajectory to become the president. And are you the third, fourth president?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm the fourth president of SCC, and I'm entering my third year. And so our founding president, Art Decabuter, spent 30 years really as a leader, not just for Scottsdale Community College, but a leader for the city of Scottsdale. And his footprints and his handprints are all over many of the iconic institutional aspects of what the city of Scottsdale is today. Jan Gaylor then followed suit. Just about a 10-year tenure as the president. There was an interim period where Chris Haynes served as the interim president, and then I was lucky enough just a couple years ago to be selected as the president of SCC, and it's been an amazing 2 years, and we're off to a great third-year start. My journey, though, is one that honestly began in public education a long time ago. So way back in the day, early 90s, as I was thinking about what I was going to major in college, English major, but I always had that inclination for public education. And my dad's a teacher 30 years plus before he retired as one high school as a physics teacher. My aunt, my cousin, public ed was always in our table conversations. And so when it came time, as I was in my undergraduate work, I knew teaching is where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And so I got my teaching license in Virginia. My first job out of college was a middle school English teacher. So I had the opportunity to teach eighth graders 135 just about every day, 5 or 6 periods a day. And it was the most amazing 4 years I've ever spent. And ever since, I've really not looked back at the value of public education, just how influential, teachers can be, how influential a strong school district can be in really advancing the goals of a community.
So what brought you to the Valley?
Well, way back in the day, gosh, and this is now 1998, I was teaching in Arlington, Virginia. I honestly thought I was living the life of the TV show Friends, and we were all sort of in this place and space and just having a great time. And but at that time, I met who then became my wife, who was from Arizona. And so at that point in time, it was, do we stay on the East Coast, or do we look to take an adventure going back to where she grew up in the Arizona area? And so as a teacher, I felt a little mobile, if you will. And so therefore, coming to Arizona was something I was looking forward to, an adventure to take. But honestly, I'd never been here before. And so I recall the very first trip, we land and I'm like, and it was in the summer. And I was like, wow,
really hot.
This is not dry heat. This is just hot. It's just hot. And then I also recall just thinking just how there's just a lack of green. And I was so, as growing up in Pennsylvania my whole life and then Virginia for the next chapter, if you will, rolling green hills and things that, like that. And so to see sort of the brownness of the mountains and the desert was just a very shocking visual that I guess I'm used to now, having been here, over 30 years. But it was definitely a first impression.
And did you start working with Maricopa Community College District at that time? Or when did you start that? And how does SCC fit within the Maricopa Community College District system?
Sure, absolutely. So when we got here in 98, honestly was looking at teaching positions, but I hadn't done enough research in the time, still a little bit young, a little bit inexperienced, and didn't realize that my license in Virginia honestly wasn't just reciprocal here in Arizona. And I thought the process would be a quick, walk down somewhere, fill out a form and boom, I'd have my teaching license in Arizona. That wasn't the case. So I did remain related to public education, work for some private companies that actually at that time were doing some satellite broadcasting in Scottsdale for districts and classrooms where teachers would call and request a video, or they would call and request a live production, for lack of a better phrase, of a particular topic. And so that was a great time. Then entered the world of training and development a little bit, but I always never quite felt fulfilled in private industry. So right around 2003, I made the decision after about 4.5 years of seeing what the private education world was like, if you will, went into the mode of it's either teaching or not, or public education or not. So I went and did get my certificate for the state of Arizona, applied to different schools across the area that were nearby, had some interviews, and at the same time also applied for the Maricopa Community Colleges as an instructional designer for the system office. And that I enjoyed the thought of teaching other instructors, about, teaching practices. And so really got that job in 2003. Didn't really know what I was stepping into, to be to be honest with you, with what it meant to be part of the Maricopa system. And so that was my first job in Maricopa. The Maricopa Community Colleges, we are a 10-college system. Scottsdale Community College is one of 10 of the community colleges. We serve on an annual basis close to 200,000 students in Maricopa County as a whole system. And for Scottsdale, we on average are about 10,000 students that we impact on an annual basis. And we really pride ourselves in being workforce development providers for really not just Maricopa County, but for the state of Arizona.
Now, your campus is located uniquely in not only in Arizona, but unique among all community colleges in the nation. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. We are the only two-year public college located on designated tribal land. So we are on the land of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. It's been a wonderful 53-year partnership. As part of that partnership, we do our best to be great stewards of the land, to honor the culture and traditions of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. And with our agreement, there is a tuition waiver for any resident community member for Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. With that, we have also constructed an Indigenous Cultural Center where we use that space to really have community gatherings, to learn and grow together, to honor the traditions of SRP MIC. So we take that partnership to heart. We do our best to be great stewards of the land, but also stewards of the tradition, and we really honor the space and the place that we occupy with SRP MIC.
Speaking of partnerships, when you think about a community college and you think about the opportunity to earn an AA and be served there on the campus or potentially online, but you all partner with our school district in a multitude of ways, whether it's the SCORE program or the early college campus at Coronado. Can you speak a little bit to that and how that's evolved over the years?
Oh, it's been a fantastic partnership with SUSD. And honestly, I got a chance to get to know Scott somewhat during my own search process, interview process. So if I'm doing a good job, I guess he's to thank for that. If I'm doing a terrible job, you can go ahead and give him a call too, and because he's part of that.
You're doing a great job, Dr. Leshinskie.
But at that point in time, when I came into SCC, we were coming out of the pandemic overall, and it was important, really a priority for us to really regain our traction in the community. The pandemic, we all somewhat retracted a little bit, and so it was important that we reestablish sort of what our role is as Scottsdale's community college. And so one of my goals was to really ignite our relationship with SUSD. So it's happened pretty quickly and impressively, in my humble opinion, over the last couple of years. The SCORE program, we are so honored to house what was once at Arcadia High School is now located on the campus of SCC. And 25 students last year had an amazing experience on our campus and brought so much joy and energy and vitality to our campus. And we've welcomed another 25 or so students back again this year, and who are, of course, going through the SCORE program, but some are also taking classes at SCC and getting a taste of what college is all about. And it's just been a rewarding program. And we're so proud of our work with Coronado High School in particular. Now, we support all 5 of the high schools through dual enrollment, through concurrent enrollment, and those programs are all thriving. But at Coronado, we're putting a little bit of a special attention and a spotlight on our work to create more concurrent offerings at the high school itself. So we're proud that we've launched an entrepreneurial class and a marketing class. And our goal is that, honestly, students have access to college much earlier than the traditional student might after graduation. And the benefits for that will be realized in that more and more students will acquire college credit, and the likelihood then of earning a degree or certificate is significant, and their completion rates are tremendous. So we are so pleased with the partnership with SUSD.
Well, and speaking of access, college is expensive and tuition can add up, and yet SCC has done a phenomenal job of making it accessible to families, and Coronado is part of that equation, of course, and additionally the Scottsdale Promise.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that's brand new.
Yeah, brand new agreement in partnership with the city of Scottsdale. Obviously, SUSD and SCC are partners of the Scottsdale Promise. The Promise movement has really been happening across the nation for over a decade now. I think Tennessee was one of the leading states to first get out the gate with a Tennessee Promise, if you will. And what it is local governments, whether city or state, states are investing in public education and primarily in community college education, providing funds to support high school graduates of that region or that area who then make a decision to go to a community college. And then the Scottsdale City Promise will be a last dollar in scholarship where after students apply for their Pell Grants, whatever figures or dollars are remaining, the Scottsdale Promise will enable them to go to not just SCC, but any of the Maricopa colleges, and will have the ability then to go at no charge. And oftentimes, finances are the barriers for student success. That's true nationally. It's also true here locally. So we're very honored that we're able to get that launched, just recently signed and by the city council, announced by the mayor, and the press release I think just went out just a couple of days ago. So we're so thrilled that this is launching, and now it's our goal to continue to promote, have more students benefit from the Scottsdale Promise, and then ideally continue to secure funds to have this remain in perpetuity so we can benefit the students of the city of Scottsdale.
The commitment to eliminating barriers and to have an openness to be innovative in the approach is not something that you see everywhere with community college partners in K-12. And so I'm truly grateful for that work and that commitment and the impact it has for our students. I'm interested in learning more about what are the signature programs at SCC? What draws students to come to Scottsdale Community College?
Sure, thanks. And historically, we've been a transfer institution. Our bread and butter, if you will, are students coming to SCC. They will take a number of their general education classes with the hopes and intent to then transfer to one of our state universities. That's still a big part of who we are, but it's not the only part of who we are. We have many career and technical education programs that are thriving. Some of our signature programs are School of Film and Theater, recently named in the top 25 in the nation for being a school of film and theater. We're very honored with that. And it's a vibrant program of students who are learning how to not write scripts, evaluate scripts, work on a set, and get jobs immediately, whether here in Arizona for the budding film industry or if they are to go to California, obviously in LA where it's going. Our culinary program is one that is also a signature program. We have the Artichoke Grill, which is a restaurant that is run by students on all aspects of the house, the front of the house, the back of the house. They truly do an amazing job, and I know I've had a number of lunches there that have just been fantastic as we show guests and potential partners with SCC just the greatness of who we are. One of our hidden gems, honestly, that oftentimes in moments I don't always recognize, but I definitely should, is our equine science program. That's an amazing program that's unique to SCC. We're developing a partnership with the city of Scottsdale. Ideally, we'll be having our students then conduct some of their classwork or their lab work, if you will, at Westworld, and knock on wood, we'll be able to get that across the finish line. But our equine science program is a thriving, robust program. We have architecture, interior design. We have your business programs. And related to business, one we're very excited about is, we are in the process of designing and developing a 4-year degree, which we have the authority granted by the state of Arizona to launch a 4-year degree. We're in the process of developing that curriculum. We have a visit from our accrediting partner. If all goes well, we'll hopefully be then offering that 4-year degree in business administration beginning in fall of 25. But there's still more steps to go, so we can't yet recruit students into that program, but hopefully after a successful visit, we'll be able to do much more marketing and recruitment of that program.
It's exciting to hear those things. For our students who are enrolled either through the dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment, and they have SCC credit, how hard is that to transfer to any of our in-state institutions?
Seamless transfer. I mean, really, it's an easy step. All 3 state universities, along with Grand Canyon University, we have strong partnerships, not just with SCC, but across our entire Maricopa system. The credits that students earn for us are going to be good at the state universities and also with Grand Canyon. Seamless transfer. Additionally, if students start at SCC but realize maybe automotive is their desire, the credits they earn at Scottsdale will transfer seamlessly to Glendale Community College or to Mesa Community College or Gateway Community College that have the programs that might then fit their needs that we don't offer. So it's seamless transfer within the Maricopa system, but also to our state universities. And honestly, it's a wonderful decision when parents and families make that decision. Not only are they getting a high quality education, but there are some cost savings realized when you earn those credits first at a community college.
Start chipping away at that as soon as you can. So, you mentioned the 4-year degree and that evolution, but I wonder what else might be on the horizon then for SCC.
Oh, it's a great question. So on our horizon is we recently launched a pharmacy tech program, and so we're really looking to enter into that space to produce more pharmacy technicians that can support our healthcare industry across. We have a certified nursing assistant program that we just enhanced our lab space at the campus for, and we're very interested in seeing where that may take us. We're also in conversation with our industry partners, and we're going to listen and hear what's on the horizon. I know a topic that keeps coming up is related to water and how water in the state of Arizona is shared, distributed, and maybe there's needs down the road where SCC could play a part in training future water experts, if you will, or along those lines. We're excited. We'll definitely listen and learn to what the community is asking of us, and we'll do our best to meet those needs to the best of our ability.
I've heard some talk in other circles about community colleges now looking at building dorms or some other options for students to reside in. Is Scottsdale Community College looking at options for students that way?
The thought of it is very exciting. I will also offer the management of it can be very challenging. Now, what we've seen in the community college landscape is when dorms are built, they're often managed or maintained by another entity, a third party, if you will, that takes on some of the, I don't want to say the risk of what's involved, but just takes on the expertise of what it is to manage that. So right now, presently, there are no plans for Scottsdale to have dorms on campus. We are always in conversation with our partners with the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. And if there are opportunities where if there are any housing developments or apartment or low-cost housing developments within the campus, sphere of who we serve, we'll do our best to reach out to them and see if there's an opportunity to possibly partner in some manner to provide some low-cost housing for our students.
Thank you. On the lighter side, you have a famous mascot. Tell us about Artie.
Yeah, Artie the Artichoke. Yeah, it's definitely one of our signature ways you think of SCC. And so, honestly, back when we first opened, our mascot was not Artie. We were the Drovers. We were the Scottsdale Community College Drovers. And I was actually just in our
What's a drover?
Well, I believe it's from a Western cowboy riding that horse and, going on a cattle ride, if you will, which is right up both of our alleys, I'm sure. So we were the Drovers, and back in the mid-'70s, our student body was a little frustrated, actually, with the college administration, particularly with how athletics was being supported, but not necessarily academics, or not at the rate that our students were really enamored with. So out of protest, the students actually held a vote. They held a contest, if you will, to rename what our college would be. And out of that protest, if you will, was named the Artichoke. And with it also, our school colors changed too. So we were pink and green at that time. So our football team and other athletic teams were wearing pink and green. We were the Artichokes. So it was meant to be, again, ridiculed to some extent. But Artie stuck. So Artie the Artichoke stuck. It didn't hurt that our founding president was Art Decabooter. So you got Artie the Artichoke, Art Decabooter. It just all seemed to work and play. Artichoke has become very beloved. We're now the Fighting Artichoke. So we have an angry Artie that you sometimes see, but he's honestly very friendly. But we do our best to just really honor that. And sometimes with SportsCenter on ESPN, they do like the top 10 mascots in the nation. We've creeped into that conversation now and then. We've been on SportsCenter, and they're at least once a month, our bookstore will say that there are folks who are just coming here. They have no interest in taking classes. They're not looking to take classes, but they just heard we're the Artichokes, and we'll get a T-shirt or some sort of memorabilia to honor that. So we're very proud of that, and we do our best to showcase Artie at the Prada del Sol. I know right now at Salt River Elementary Schools, Artie's made visits there, and we do our best just to really play off of that.
He came to the Coronado Promise celebration.
Yep, came to the Coronado Promise celebration. So it's beloved in the community, and it's really pretty fun. And so I know at the parade, I really underestimated just how popular Artie was, because we're walking in the Prada del Sol, Artie's walking there, all of a sudden 30 young kids are running towards Artie. I'm like, we're about to cause a traffic hazard here. But it's pretty cool to see just the way he is received and beloved in the community.
SCC represents a tremendous value to the residents of Scottsdale, and more importantly to our students, and we're truly grateful for the partnership. At the end of each podcast, I like to ask our guests to reflect on a teacher who might have made a difference in your life, someone whose impact you would like to elevate. We always want to celebrate the teaching profession, and we'd like to give our guests an opportunity to name someone that had a positive impact in your life.
Oh, that's fantastic. So for me, probably the first teacher that I connected with was Mr. Regal. Mr. Regal was a fourth grade teacher at Schaefer Elementary School in Lancaster, PA, where I grew up. And he was just somebody who was one of those cool teachers, right? Like he would play basketball after school sometimes with us. And I just remember him I was pretty shy too in that first couple of years of school, and I remember him making all of us laugh. I remember him making all of us feel like we mattered in a very special way. And that was the first time for me where I think I started to come out of my shell a little bit. First, second, and third grade, very quiet. A good student, not as, smart, of course, as Scott, but a good student. And I would do my best in school. But fourth grade, though, that's when humor and laughter and fun. And I'm like, wow, he is just a cool guy. So he was someone who had a strong impact in my life and just really reminded me of just the influence that teachers have. And at fourth grade, that's an influential time, and it was very important. He was a very important figure in my life at that time.
I think they're powerful stories and reminders of the impact that individuals can have when they go into the teaching profession and can impact a future trajectory. And he probably didn't know at the time that he would be sparking a desire in you that led to becoming the president of SCC.
That's true.
But I'm sure that he would be very proud. We're truly grateful for all that you do in support of our community and Scottsdale Unified School District. We want to thank you for joining us on the program, and we want to invite our listeners to tune in whenever it fits your schedule to SUSD Spotlight, and we look forward to sharing future stories of success.
And you can pitch us ideas for future podcast episodes on our website, susd.org/spotlight.